What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bolero Sam here with the Sultan of Sando and newly appointed father. Congrats on your baby, Sultan of Sando. Meron na tayong baby Sultan of Sando. Ano ba tawag sa Prince of Sando? Ganun ba yun?
The son of the Sultan of Sando,
The
SSS.
son
You
of the
know,
Sultan of
I
Sando. Okay,
yung I
so
dub thee the son of the Sultan of Sando.
in case you guys were wondering, but medyo nawala kami, Maui just got back from his vacation in Europe. Nagpapahinga pa si Boss Maui, but we will be recording soon. And then, as mentioned, the Sultan of Sando just had a baby, so he's trying to spend some time with his baby and his wife. So, congrats. Ano feeling ng pagiging tatay, Sultan of Sando?
Very different. There's a whole new life form depending on you and you want to take care of. I think Sasami, you said the same thing. Life changing. Wag yung magkaanak.
Mm?
No?
Mm-hmm.
Diba? So,
Yeah,
yun.
yeah.
But nothing like a Gilas win to get us back into
Ang ganda ng
recording
segue mo, bro.
podcast.
Wow, what a segue. Ito talagang ano, guys. Ito ang bolero. Talagang um kakapanganak lang ng wife niya 2 weeks after. Kita mo naman, raring to get back to podcasting and talking about basketball and Gila. So, what a comeback. Comeback for you, Gab. Welcome back. And what a comeback for Gilas against the Macau Black Bears. I think at one point they were down 21 points. That's what we're going to talk about today. Uh, Quick reactions, Gab, to this Gila send-off before they uh, go up against, I think, Chinese Taipei ba? Ang
Yeah,
una?
Chinese Taipei, New Zealand, and Iraq. Alam ko yun yung ka-group nila sa FIBA Asia Cup. Yeah.
Okay. Quick
Yeah, well,
reactions.
I was ready to throw ev- everything at my TV in the first half.
By the
Sobrang
way, guys,
frust-
nag-usap na kami ni Gab. Sabi namin, uy, Gab, pag tambak to, wag na tayong mag-record. Wag na natin pag-usapan kasi
Oo,
mabad trip lang tayo. But happy
magagalit
to,
lang tayo.
we
Oh,
enjoyed the
and
comeback.
but I did tell you at halftime na I hope there's a huge comeback so that when we do if ever we do record, medyo
Masaya.
happy naman
Ibinati mo
tayo.
eh. Ikaw pala yung swerte.
Very good. So yeah, definitely very frustrating first half for Gilas Philippines. I think if you were there in the arena, in Araneta, or if you were watching in Philippines Live or any stream that you could find, this was a very frustrating first half for Gilas kasi, oh my God, uh, so many turnovers. You couple with the sloppy play of Gilas, with the hot shooting of the Macau Black Bears, and it was not a good start at, at all. Very frustrating. Sabi ko nga, I wanted to throw everything at my TV because what a wrong way to come out of a long hiatus for Gilas. Um, People were saying, I think the announcers were saying they still have to get their chemistry back. I'm like, well, wasn't that the point of having the same pool for years now? Is that you don't have chemistry issues? And essentially, this is the same roster since what 2023, since Coach Tim Cone took over the program. So I don't think
Si RJ
chemistry.
lang yung parang nadagdag who played a
Yeah,
little but like barely played then.
yeah. Zabe was not there. Toy Rosario did not play at all. So essentially the same roster. So I don't think chemistry could is a problem that should be attributed to when they fall flat like that. As they did in the first half. Again, so many turnovers. I don't have the stats with me. We can't find any live stats of the game. But you can see from the start, first quarter, second quarter, so many turnovers by Gilas. It's like they did not want to do anything in the first half, remotely close to what Tim Cone considers a good triangle offense. It was just really, really hard to watch. And couple that with a lack of defensive intensity in the first half, a lot of easy layups, open threes, um, guys getting to their spots. They still could not figure out their pick and roll coverage for the majority of the first half. And really frustrating. But if you're if you're a Gilas fan, the second half is really what you wanted to see, diba,
What
Sam?
you're hoping for to see consistently, you would say.
Yes. Kasi, uh, ano masabi ko? The defensive intensity, definitely, definitely went up a notch as I changed my mic source. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think the rotational adjustments that Coach Tim Cone made entering the second half was pretty key. One, they did not play Japet Aguilar anymore, and with all due respect,
No offense to Japet. No offense to Japet.
this is a team management problem. Why are they still trying to play him? He already mentioned that that he's retired, and we're still trying to force Japeth to play. And kita-kita sa first half. Actually, matagal natin na yung nakita na hindi na kaya ni Japeth sa ganitong level of international basketball.
And
Or
galing
even,
siya sa semis ng
yeah,
PBA. Pagod na sila.
he's
Forcing this guy to play.
kita mo yung difference when they actually played majority si AJ Edu no second half. They did not play Japet at all. It was just AJ Edu, a brief rest, subbed in by Carl Tamayo, then back
Tamayo.
to Edu. And I have to give credit to Chris Newsom and CJ Perez.
CJ
The
Perez lalo na. A guy who came from the finals.
I think he got all four of his fouls in the third quarter, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think so
Ha?
too. Kasi third quarter lang siya naglaro eh. And then fourth foul na siya by the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, but that speaks to how awesome his defensive intensity was. Diba? Once he came in, him and Newsom, they just bothered the guards of the Macau Black Bears. Again, the defensive intensity made all the difference. Couple that with the rotational, the how should I say this? The benefit of having a big such as AJ Ed who could switch and could rotate faster than Japeth and could protect the rim. Big difference. You couple that, and I think it rubbed off also on Dwight Ramos, the intensity that CJ Perez and Chris Newsom were showing in that third quarter. It led to a lot of defensive stops, a lot of turnovers for the Macau Black Bears, eventually leading to a lot of easy baskets, something we did not have in the first half. Capitalizing off turnovers and getting easy baskets. I love to see it. Their defense should be like that each and every game. I don't understand why they came out so flat. And you couple that with, and then heading into the fourth quarter, I think that just Justin Brownlee taking Gilas home.
As
Grabe si
usual.
JB. As
Grabe.
usual, Justin
Like fine
Brownlee.
wine. Like
Diba?
fine wine. Sa fourth quarter, humihinog eh.
Galing. And that's a lot of benefit also to guys like Scotty Thompson, Chris Newsom, KQ for some part, just really finding JB in the spots that he was very comfortable with. For majority of the fourth quarter, those were open threes by JB, and that was big credit to how the guards, Perez, Newsom, Thompson, Dwight, where they were penetrating the defense, breaking down the defense, and finding JB in spots that he could make threes. And you love to see that. You couple that with the defensive intensity that they showed in the third quarter, I think that's pretty positive. Tale of two halves talaga. I have, nung first half, yung gusto ko na yung magbato ng mga aqua flask ko, kung ano man mga ball pen yung makita ko sa table, sa TV ko. But in the
Huwag
second
naman yung
half,
baby mo ha. Ingat ka lang. Baka mabato mo
of
yung
course not.
baby mo.
Of course not. Sabi, we don't hurt people physically here. Pero yeah, but in the second half, I was rejoicing. Ang saya na ng mood ko. And thankfully, Gilas pulled it off.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Nakwento ko sa'yo, di ba? After that, like, hindi pa patapos yung second quarter, may message na kita, Gab, ayoko na manood, ayoko na mag-record. Ang sama, ayoko na, gusto ko na mag-quit. Ganyan, buti na lang, you pushed for it. Minention mo nga, you're hoping for a run. The run happened in the second half. I do wanna give CJ Perez a lot of credit. Yung defensive intensity nga niya, as you mentioned, I think, it's also like parang I admire him because this is a guy who just came from the finals. I'm sure he's really tired. He didn't get to play in the first half, pero ready to play, always ready to play tong si CJ Perez. And this is not the first time I would say that we've seen CJ Perez sort of step up or give this team a boost of energy, diba? I think when he was listed as a part of the Gilas team, I would say a lot of people would some people would argue na okay, maybe he's not really a good fit for Gilas or maybe someone else could take that slot. But to be fair to CJ Perez, I think time and time again he has proven that he does deserve a slot in Gilas, and as that change of pace type of guard for Gilas. So just what the doctor ordered, I would say, yung pag-insert ni CJ Perez sa lineup, especially in the third quarter. I don't
And Chris
mind. I don't
Newsom. I don't think
and Chris
Newsom played
Newsom.
in the first half.
Hindi ba? Sorry, hindi ko napanood ko na lang yung like
I don't think he did.
bandang end ng second quarter. Okay, so Chris Newsom din. Um I don't mind. I don't mind CJ Perez getting like 4 fouls in one quarter if he's that intense. Alam naman natin if you're aggressive, if you're very physical, we expect him to get fouls. I don't mind that if it rubs off yung energy niya with like the other guys. I think you mentioned KQ. I think KQ was a surprise good performer for us. Tama ba he hit like 3 threes nung first half?
3 threes in the first quarter. I
Three
think it
threes in
was
the first
him
quarter.
and Brownlee were the only bright spots for
And a
majority of the
little
first
bit of
half.
Dwight nung bandang dulo. If I think he was like 0 of 6 and then naging parang he hit like three straight shots after that.
And,
Um
and I don't think Dwight came out in the second half. I think he played the entire second half, if I'm not
naglaro
mistaken.
he went to the bench nung last 13 seconds, I think. RJ Abarientos came in like to let him sit down and rest. So, but I think you're right. It more or less parang onti lang yung rest niya for the second half. And we needed him like every minute of it, 'di ba? AJ Edu also was amazing. I think we had no choice. Obviously Junmar wasn't playing. Japet is old. Kai Soto is still injured. Um, I do have a question for you. How much did it hurt seeing QMB on the other team?
Man, we could have used the QMV as in I think one of the points for improvement of this team heading into the FIBA Asia Cup is definitely our big man depth. Again, we cannot rely on heavy minutes on Japet Aguilar. There are just too many man. He's too slow already for a guy his age to play heavy minutes. We definitely could use a QMB. And ang sakit no that he's playing against Gilas. Definitely a guy who could run the floor and protect the rim and grab rebounds. Just to spell a guy like AJ Edo. Just imagine if AJ Edo yung kapalit niya sa QMB. Diba?
Wow.
Two agile bigs, long, athletic bigs. Well, QMB is not that athletic, but he's more athletic than the other older bigs that we have, no. But imagine if yung sila yung magkapalitan. There will be no walang pagbaba ng defensive intensity, especially in the interior. Yun ang yung dun tayo nahirapan when we have lineups with Junmar, lineups with Japeth as the lone big. It's hard to measure up defensively because they're not as fast. They can't switch out. They're not athletic enough to protect the rim. So that's why they needed a lot of AJ Edo to play. And I think that was intentional, definitely intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I think Coach Tim Cohn gave the team a lashing in the huddle, in the dugout, because it was an embarrassment of a first half. So definitely he relied upon AJ Edu, but if you're relying upon AJ Edu to play what in a 40-minute game, 35 minutes,
Yeah.
I think he's gonna gas out. So
Yeah.
kailangan nakapalitan, no? I think June Mario will be ready. I think
So
June Mar can still contribute, but definitely our big man depth is not as deep as we want it to be. Sabi.
So so yeah, I agree, diba? Like we could have used the QMB, but obviously that's not gonna happen. Obviously, Kai Soto's not gonna be ready in time for by next week, basically. With the current lineup that we have, who do you want to see as your other big man? Like other than Junmar and AJ Edu, do you want to see more Carl Tamayo minutes at the big man? Because we that's our only choice, diba? Like
Uh, I think we can, but
I know he was bad today, but what do you think about that?
yeah, listen. Carl Tamayo's strength is not that he's a rim protector. He's not he's not a post threat, but he's
Mm-hmm.
a stretch big. He's a stretch four. I think now I don't think the triangle is the perfect system that to utilize Carl Tamayo in because again he's not a post threat. He's not that great of a cutter. He's more of a shooter and an isolation scorer. Uh, but I do think we can use a lot more of Carl Tamayo. Again, young legs that can move their feet, that can switch and not get beat off the dribble all the time. So I do think we need to play more Carl Tamayo and um, maybe shift some offense around that can get Carl Tamayo more perimeter shots because he is a shooter. Much like si
Yeah.
KQ, they both can shoot. I do think that he's a little bit playing out of position in this system by Coach Tim Cohn, which is why he's looked so terrible. Actually, for majority of the Gilas games, he's not really performed that well. But I do think he has something to offer. Again, he's 6 foot what? 6'8", quick on his feet, can stretch the floor. There is something there. I mean, if the other option is Japeth and we're gonna get killed defensively with Japeth, I think it has to be Carl Tamayo. And maybe a small ball five with Jamie Malonzo yung could work also. I told you this. I have no idea what happened to Jamie Malonzo. Maybe injuries have
Di na
caught
siya
up with him.
naglaro, 'di ba? Sa second half.
Di na.
Siya tsaka
Well,
si
nagkalat siya
Japeth.
nung first half. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I, I, I wasn't surprised na in the second half, hindi na siya masyado ginamit. But, yeah, something to that effect, no? Maybe throw a wrench in there, have small ball fives with Carl Tamayo at the five, with maybe si Jamie Malonzo yung at the five, with Justin Brownlee at the four, then with the three guards. Something like that to just to spread the floor, give a different look to opposing defenses. Because hindi talaga pwede yung may slow big eh. Not in the international game where teams just shoot a ton of threes. And ayun, Carl Tamayo, he has to step up. This is his chance. The front line is very shallow. He can get minutes. There's no Mason Amos. I think that's a key absence that
Oo nga, no?
I think
Kalimutan ko.
that I think we're gonna miss because Mason is a big guy and he's not there to spell a few minutes for the bigs. So Carl Tamayo has a lot of runway for minutes, and I think he has to take advantage of that.
Okay. With the guard play naman. So we've always been pushing like Ron J to join, other guards to join in. I know RJ is there. I know they added si Zave Lucero. Any of these two guys you feel like should make it to the qualifiers?
Well, if Zave is eligible, which allegedly he is, or we
Meron
haven't
eh,
had
'di ba?
news
May
yet.
nakita tayong post or article na supposedly he is.
Well, if he is, I would love to see him there. I think he would be a perfect fit. I mean, Zave Lucero is the type of player I think you could fit into any roster. Just because he does so many things on the court, he does not need a ton of usage. He doesn't
Mm,
have
that's true.
to have plays run for him. I mean, He can play defense. He can protect the rim. He can rebound. He can defend the opposing perimeter player. I've always loved Zave's game, so I hope he makes it, man. If he's eligible, RJ, with the way the other guards played a while ago, I
Mm-hmm.
do think he's only gonna get spot minutes. But I do think he's the best shooter among the guards. I mean, if you look at CJ Perez, Chris Newsom, Scotty Thompson, I think he's the best shooter among those three, um, among those four. So uh, I think he can be valuable in certain matchups. A guard who can create and can shoot from the perimeter. Uh, Now they're gonna run into some problems defensively because he's small, but I think that can be worked around. With a little bit of scheming defensively and you're throwing some doubles, you're throwing some help at the right time, you can get away with playing a small guard. Uh, with that, I don't see much changes with the roster in terms of guard play. I do think they're still gonna play a lot of Newsom, a lot of Perez, definitely a lot of Dwight Ramos. I think both Coach Chot and Coach Tim Cohn just love to play Dwight Ramos. I do remember back when Coach Chot was the coach of Gilas, there was a game he did not bring Dwight Ramos out of the game. And I think Coach Tim Cohn is finding himself in a
Pogi.
similar position. Yun pa, yun din, he's a fan favorite. But also he does so many things on the floor, that's a positive. It's a very, actually, if you want a good example of what Zave Lucero can do on the court, just look at Dwight Ramos. Because Zave Lucero is maybe not a guard, but a very similar player who does different things. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands. He can be a spot-up shooter. He can be a cutter. He can penetrate to the basket and attack uh, closeouts. He can guard defensively. You saw the block of Dwight Ramos on QMB. Zave can do that,
Yeah.
diba? So
Maybe like a
and very
better
much,
Malonzo. He could be a better
yeah,
Malonzo.
with the way Malone's playing now, he's definitely a better Malone. He will definitely be a better Jamie Malonzo. So yeah, I've said this before, Sam. Zabe Lucero was always my dream addition to Gilas. I'm glad that my dream has come true. I hope he does play. I I think he's even better than Calvin of Tana. To be honest, I don't know if that's a hot take. I mean, I don't watch the PBA, but in terms of skill
Well,
set,
you would say Calvin is a better shooter siguro, 'di ba?
yeah, maybe Calvin's a better shooter, but all around player, I think Zave is
Mm.
right up there. I love Zave's game. So yeah, and if we're that short on bigs, maybe we do need Troy. But no, no, sorry. I com- Ekis yun. I think Carl Tamayo should have that spot. Kasi
Yeah.
kung nandun si Troy, I think he's gonna take minutes from Carl. I want
Might as
Carl
well just
Tamayo to
play
have
Carl.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
you might as well just play Carl Tamayo. Anyway,
I
yun. Sammy,
agree.
go ahead.
I agree. I agree. Would have wanted to see Zave, pero feel ko sobrang iffy pa yung eligibility ni Zave. That's why we only saw RJ Abarientos. I do agree. I would love to see more Carl Tamayo. He's one of the young guys, 'di ba? Hindi naman natin pwedeng pilitin lahat ng vets natin to play for like 5, 10 more years. Like kawawa naman sina Japet, sina Junmar, even Brownlee. Brownlee's up there in age pero thank you, Justin Brownlee. Ang galing mo pa rin. But I do want to see more minutes for Carl Tamayo. And I think now is the best opportunity because wala tayong choice eh. Like, okay, this is Tim Cohn's game plan. And unfortunately, Kai Soto is out. Junmar is playing, but this guy's injured. Remember, this guy had a calf injury during the playoff run. He played through it. Uh, Guys that had calf injuries during the playoffs, we all know what happened to them in the NBA. So I'm still a bit worried about like Junmar getting a lot of minutes. So I do hope to see more Carl Tamayo minutes sa upcoming games ng Gilas. Siguro Gab, before we end or before we talk about anything else, what's your grade for this Gila send off before we talk about mga things to watch out for sa upcoming games?
I give a solid B. I think that second
B?
half, uh, showed the true might of Gilas when they're actually taking it seriously and where they're actually sharp in their rotations and where they're actually bringing the effort defensively. I think that's a B. I can't
Though
give them higher
may
than.
sloppy plays in the end, lalo na si Chris Newsome, medyo
Oh yeah, that 7 point
three straight
swing by
turnovers.
yung by Macau that brought them back in the game. I think it became 94-92 or something like that from a 9 point lead down to two, yung something like that. So definitely things to improve on. We can't have sloppy turnovers, especially not against New Zealand, diba? If we do things like that against New Zealand, oh, we're gonna get killed again.
Which is
Remember, I
a
think last.
better 3-point shooting team than Macau. Macau was hot nung first half. But like New Zealand, lahat talaga tumitira ng tres no?
Yeah, and I think a factor then to Macau's demise. I think they did not sub out their 4 or 5 guys in the entire second half. I think
Sino
they
yung guy
played
who like, made 9 straight free throws or
free throw.
something? Yun yung,
Si
um,
Anthony. I
yeah,
forgot his last name.
Anthony yata. I think
Yeah,
he played all throughout.
yeah,
I
he did,
see
and
good
also
siya.
see Douglas and si Peak. If he didn't get injured, if he didn't get whacked in the face in the fourth quarter, I think he would have played the entire way. It was si QMB and si Joe Obasa were just alternating minutes at center, but si Leong played the entire second half. So I think fatigue did play a factor, and with regards to fatigue, I think a key turning point in this game was in the third quarter, Sammy, when Justin Brownlee asked to be subbed out. I think he had a turnover. He threw a cross court pass to Scotty, which was intercepted, and then he got a block on I think Douglas. And then he subsequently asked for a sub out. KQ came in, but I think those were key minutes because when it came to the fourth quarter, Justin Brownlee was fresh. Diba? We've seen Justin Brownlee gas out. I think in previous Gilas games, we saw Justin Brownlee just have no more gas in the fourth quarter. I think our last matchup against New Zealand,
New
diba?
Zealand,
He,
yeah.
he was so drained in the fourth quarter, he could not
They knew the game
move.
plan. New Zealand knew the game plan.
Yeah.
They stuck to it. Just guard JB.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna have to find rest for Justin Brownlee again. Despite the awesomeness of JB, despite his awesome shooting and his clutch shooting, he is up there in age. He cannot play close to 40 minutes a game. There is no way Gilas can survive that. You're gonna find yourself in a situation much like the last New Zealand game where we're trying to get offense through JB, but he is exhausted. And we cannot have an exhausted Justin Brownlee in crunch time, especially without a Kai Soto to throw the ball to. So yun lang. I think that was a key moment in the game that I think proved to be in our favor. Sammy.
Speaking of KQ subbing for JB, I love to see that. No, I think KQ is part of the future of Gilas, a big part of the future of Gilas. I love that KQ is the one replacing JB, and well, they played together. They had minutes together, and I hope tuloy-tuloy yung kay KQ and si Tamayo. That's really what I'm hoping for. I want to see KQ and Kai Soto and Edu and the young guys really carry this team. Kasi sila rin yung magiging vets later on, 'di ba? Sige, looking forward to the competition, what's your outlook like? What do you expect to see? How many wins do you expect to get?
You know, the positive.
Mahirap lahat, pati Chinese Taipei,
Oh,
mahirap
we
eh.
we lost to Chinese
We lost
Taipei
to
in our
them,
last
yeah.
in our last matchup. So I'm hoping for 2 wins, at least 2 wins. I think New Zealand's gonna be a tough out, definitely. But Chinese Taipei, I think, is gonna be the key game of the 3 in the group stage because they're the ones that has shown that they can beat us, but we can also beat them.
Medyo
I
pantay
forgot
eh.
the name. I forgot the name of their star guard. So I forgot his name. The one who killed us in the last game against them. So, but they do have to cover the 3-point line. That I think is pretty key. I think we've said this throughout all of Gilas games, Sammy, since Tim Cone took over.
Took over,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, our coverage of the 3-point shot is not really that astute, if I may say so myself. We allow a lot of open threes, and it has to be more like the second half a while ago, where they were active attacking shooters, where they were active getting their hands up and running them off the 3-point line. They have to do the same to teams like Chinese Taipei and New Zealand. They both those teams love to shoot threes. Um, the last time we beat New Zealand here at MOA, we were outshot spectacularly from three, but we shot the lights out from 2-point range and from the free throw line. I don't think we can expect that each and every game. We have to defend the three better.
I think we out-rebounded them also.
Yep.
Which I
This is
don't think we can expect to achieve this time
Yep.
around.
Yep. We can't just rely on Justin Brownlee bailing us out in the end game. Again, New Zealand knows what's gonna happen. They've already seen this. They've seen this movie so many times already. They're gonna lock in on Justin Brownlee. So we have to defend the 3-point line and give us a chance, not just to throw the ball to Justin Brownlee and hope he bails us out. We can't do that. I don't think we can do that against New Zealand. Same thing against Chinese Taipei. We have to defend the 3-point line, prevent them from making so many threes, because threes really kill Gilas. I think that's a trend already that we can see. It's not anymore a one game thing that happened in New Zealand. Some fans were saying there's really the game plan of Coach Tim Coe, just leave the 3-point line. I don't think so. I just think we're not really astute in guarding the 3-point shot. And we have to do that. It's killed us before, and I hope it doesn't kill us in the next 3 games. Sammy?
Okay. I think that's it. I think yun yung Gilas send-off reactions natin. Looking forward to the upcoming Gilas games. Just like before, I think pag-uusapan natin yun, and by then, Maui will be back. That's it for today's quick episode. Stay tuned.
We're also having some UAP content upcoming.
Stay tuned for our upcoming UAP content. Promise, sasama na namin si Maui by then. Jetlag pa si Sir ngayon. So, that's it for today. We'll see you again next time. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye-bye.